Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Mendoza in Argentina for the final match on day 3, the final pool match indeed. It's the Netherlands against Japan. Well, we've had a fascinating day's play here today, and these are the standings in Pool A coming into this last pool match. And you can see it's second against third. The Dutch need to score 2 goals or win by 2 goals to go above New Zealand in the standings. If Japan lose by 4 or more, then they will go below China in the standings. And as it is first versus 4, second versus third in the crossover in the quarterfinals, that is key. We've already seen England go from 3rd to 4th, conceding a goal 2 minutes from time against Argentina. They lost that game 4-1. The goal put Argentina to the top of Pool B and England to the bottom. So the players are out on the park, and there's going to be a presentation to Liedewij Beltin of the Netherlands. Number 12 for the Netherlands. She's winning her 100th cap, just 24 years of age. She is the 6th member of the squad out there on the field to reach the 100 caps. Congratulations to Liedewij. A very, very skillful player. So now that the presentation has been made to Liedewij, we will have the national anthems of both sides, starting with the Dutch and then Japan. Well, Japan opened their account here in Mendoza, losing to New Zealand by 2 goals to 1. They then drew with China 1-1. The Netherlands beat China 2-0 and drew with New Zealand 1-1. And that's why it set up this very close Pool A encounter to finish off the pool matches here at the 2014 Champions Trophy in Mendoza. Let's have a look at the two sides and start with that of the Netherlands. And what can you say? It's just experience, it's class, but they haven't really hit their stride here in Mendoza yet. Japan will know they cannot give away penalty corners because number 17, Marcia Pauwman, if she is on the park, will punish them. And if she's not on the park, well, then they'll be punished by Van Marsacker, number 13. There's Serd Marijn, the Dutch coach, who's taken over the reins for this Champions Trophy. Now Japan, keep your eye out for number 5 there, Captain Miyuki Nakagawa. But they need goals, and number 10, Akiko Kato, is probably the most likely source for Yuji Nagai. And his side know exactly what they need to do. If they can notch up any sort of result, that would be a bonus. And we'll come to that in a minute. But our two umpires from the Antipodes, Kylie Seymour of Australia and Kelly Hudson of New Zealand. So the scene is set for the final match on day 3 of competition. Just ticked 8:30 in the evening. It's a lovely evening for hockey. Let's hope that these two serve up a match here. The Dutch get us underway in this final match on day 3, playing from left to right in their traditional all-orange strip. Japan in all blue. And Japan, well, they have a mountain to climb here. They've only ever won 2 Champions Trophy matches, as the Dutch, through Van der Heuvel, go on the attack. They've only won 2 Champion Trophy matches, 4-3 against New Zealand in 2012, 1-0 against the Dutch in 2008. So they might have only been 2 wins, but 2 notable wins, especially that one against Holland. But it would be a major surprise if Japan could get a result here. Alongside me in the commentary box, the former Wales and Great Britain international, Sarah Thomas. And Sarah, the Dutch have been a little disappointing, but you don't win these sort of tournaments in your first couple of matches. You build into the tournament, and they'll be hoping for an improved performance here.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and that's why it's such an important game for them today. 3rd game in the competition. It's an evening game, so they've had all day waiting around and the anticipation building up. And I really hope we see them get into the 5th gear this evening and see what we saw in the World Cup earlier this year in terms of the short passing game and using their skills and creativity in midfield.
So here come Japan, their first little attack, and it's Yuri Nagai who has won the free hit, and it's going to be taken by Hazuki Nagai. First time into the circle, ball was high. Can they get it out of the sticks? No, they can't. It was Nakashima who almost had the opportunity, but here comes Veltin, the 100 cap girl. Can she find a way through and cap off the landmark game with a goal? Chance coming now, shot. That is some brave defending, or a bad miss.
Yeah, I think she went to hit that and completely missed the ball, but as always with the Japanese, they are brave defenders. They'll get involved in that, and I think she just mishit that completely on that occasion.
Yeah, Zandavaart getting it all wrong. One back by Van der Heuvel, and here goes Nagai, but across comes the defender to take it away, and the Dutch come up this right-hand side to Ellen Hurg. Hurg up to De Waard. Into the corner it goes. This is Otta. Otta on the reverse stick, can't get it out. This is Van Ass. Van Ass on the dribble up into the circle, and whistle blown, but then the apology from Kelly Hudson that she perhaps was a little early on the whistle. No advantage play, but at least she's apologising. Hurg wins the free hit. This is Van Geffen. Pauwman. Back to Van Geffen. Van Geffen up the line, Hurg beaten to it, and then foul. She's going to be careful. No, she's going to pick up a green card. She's got caught on the wrong side and didn't really make any attempt to get round on the right side.
Yeah, good start from Netherlands. Sorry, this evening. I mean, a lot more intensity in their play in going forward, but this first quarter is going to be extremely important for Japan in terms of not giving away any corners and also defending and trying to get themselves into the game as well. And I think, in fairness, they're doing that at the moment.
Well, Japan is certainly showing more forward momentum than China did when China played the Dutch in the first match. China frustrating Holland until the 3rd quarter when Pauwman scored those 2 penalty corners. But the worry, of course, is if you leave yourself exposed at the back, the Dutch are the masters at tearing you apart. This is Pauwman into Van Ass. Good tackling. Van Geffen picks up the spare ball, tries to put it into Van Ass, and Ellen Hurg confirmation of her green card.
Yeah, exactly about the point you were making, Charlie. On the first attack for Japan, in the attack they were then left really vulnerable, and it was almost a 1v1 at the back for Leader Velton. So they're going to have to find a way of managing the risk behind there this evening, as well as going forward and taking risks in attack.
Skipper Nakagawa. And here is Kato. Kato to Nagai. Nagai up the line to Nakashima. Across it comes. Well, doesn't get past the first line of defence, which was Van Masaka. On the reverse stick, that's a lovely ball in. There is going to be a chance here. First time shot, and that's a good save by Sunbrook. The first shot on target is from number 11, Akane Shibata, who was the only player to score against the Dutch at the World Cup.
Yeah, fantastic start there for Japan, getting the ball into the circle with a nice backhand, and Shibata taking that opportunity, not trying to take a first or second touch, hitting it first time towards the goal and making the first save for Joyce Sonbrook.
Shibata playing across to take this long corner. And that's a nice pass to Sakaguchi, who spreads it out to that right-hand side. Hayashi. And that is Sakai, the defender, playing high up the park. Nagai, across it comes, and Palman has to be sharp. Nagai's there again, and Japan giving a really good account of themselves in the early exchanges.
Yeah, doing really well. Nagai for me was a standout player for Japan when they played China the other day. Here's the shot of Shibata, running away from goal and managing to get that on target whilst turning. That's a fantastic shot. And then someone there for the rebound as well, which is really good.
Really good balance from Sunbrook. You'd expect that from one of the world's best goalkeepers. And we were talking earlier today, weren't we, Sarah? And you were saying that Palman, when asked what the strengths of the side are, she almost immediately goes for Sunbrook at the back.
And we don't actually get to see that much of her in comparison to other teams' goalkeepers. So, but when she's needed to do a job, she most certainly does it, that's for sure.
Drust out to that left-hand side. Here she is. And the ball was on for Kato. And here goes Hurg, who's back into the fray. Margis dropping it out to Van der Poels. On it goes again. And Durst cuts back inside, runs into Otter. Lifted ball.
I mean, that didn't quite come off on this occasion, but already better from the Netherlands this evening in terms of going from the right to the left side of the field. I think games earlier on in the pool section, they've just dominated down the right-hand side. And the reason they're such a good team and Olympic world champions is because of the strengths on both the left and the right-hand side. It's very unusual teams have such strengths equal. So that's really good to see them kind of using that, but Japan coping with it nicely at the moment.
Well, the Dutch have got an opportunity here. They hold all the titles that in world hockey that are possible, apart from the Champions Trophy and the European Championship. Well, this is their chance to win the Champions Trophy, and the European Championships is in London in August. And they can complete the clean sweep there if this side can sort of wake from their slumbers, their pool slumbers in the knockout stages. That's the dangerous ball in.
Yeah, I mean, Japan dealing with it very well at the minute. For me, they're very much a side that are trying to build. They have a new coach since the Asian Games, which was only in October of this year. But in fairness to Japan, they're attacking really well, and they're really having some good ball control, which is really nice to see.
I think both teams will be rather thankful that they're playing at night, because it's been rather warm here today. Temperature, if you haven't seen any of the previous matches, in the low 30s. It's supposed to get hotter for the rest of the week, 35 to 37. It's very, very dry heat here in the west of Argentina, in the foothills of the Andes.
Yeah, I think we already see this game's intensity is quite good in comparison to some of the games in the earlier heat today.
Ooh, turnover ball for Japan from Palman. Palman working back, and that's good work on Kanefuji by the Dutch captain, almost putting her team into trouble.
Yeah, really good tackle back from Palman there, but another good steal from the Japanese, you know, not frightened to get on top of Palman there and try and steal the ball from in a position where they can actually make a good counter.
Up the line it comes.
Ooh,
What's that hit?
I think it hit the sideline and bounced up, the halfway side.
Wow. Taking a real jump up off the line. Boss. The two Van Marsaka. Marsaka trying to pick out Van der Poels. Just won't come down for Japan, and they've given it away. Van der Poels takes it quickly, too quickly. Kelly Hudson's liking.
Really nice to see Michelle van der Poels back in the team. She's been out for at least a couple of years with an injury now, so she's worked really hard in terms of getting back into this team.
And the foul going against the Dutch as De Geerde plays it in.
The first instinct of the Japanese is literally to run at the Dutch right now, and there's not many teams who instinctively do that. So one of the most attacking Japanese teams I've seen in a long while. Good tackle.
There's a good tackle by the Poles. Well, we've almost had 12 minutes of this first quarter. The Netherlands 0, Japan 0. And Joyce Sombroek in the Dutch goal, the busier of the two goalkeepers. And I don't think we thought we'd be saying that.
No, very true. I mean, the Dutch have had a lot of possession, but they haven't been that clinical in the circle with that possession. They haven't done much with it. So I think that'll be a main thing for their talk in this short break now between quarters about actually when they get into the attacking 23 to actually use that ball they've got.
Bos to De Waard. Sandervaard just loses out, or does she? Opportunity here for Hurg. She loves the reverse stick, and she gets the shot away from an acute angle. But Asano in the Japan goal, who's had a good tournament, makes a regulation save high above her left shoulder. Japan, they're defending in numbers and attacking in numbers. The question is, it'll be a fitness issue, possibly later in proceedings.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they cope in the fourth quarter to the first, but right now looking very much on top of the game, pressing really well. Here we can see Ellen Hoek shot, moves the ball from left to right really nicely, fakes a little for the defender, and then bang, backhand shot at goal.
Marsaka into De Geerde. Up the park, trying to pick out Sandervaard. Inside the final two. Netherlands 0, Japan 0. Both keepers have made a save. Kato. Good tackle by De Waard, and it's picked up by Van Aast behind Van der Heuvel. Nice piece of skill as the Dutch come forward again, but the pass forward is from Felton.
Yeah, another great intercept from the Japanese defender, really reading the game very nicely at the moment. Dutch not really able to make the most of their possession higher up the field.
Sideline ball inside the final 60 seconds, and Japan have done a good job here in the opening 14 minutes of this first quarter. Dirks to Bos and Marsaka. Bos. Palman. And Hervel tries to play it around the corner. It's put off the park by Hayashi. Dex. Palman. And Masaka has space down the left flank. And Japan, who've done such a good job so far, don't want to be conceding inside the final 10 seconds as the Dutch look for a penalty corner. Lovely skill from Berg, but that is the end of the first 15 minutes of play in this final Pool A match, and the Dutch are being met by Japan. The quarter time score: Netherlands 0, Japan 0. Little shake of the head from Ellen Herger. She walks off for the quarter time chat, but job well done by the team in dark blue. And Coach Nagai, I think, will be very pleased with the way his team have played. But I think Sjoerd Marijn won't be too disappointed with the way the Dutch have played either. They just need to be a little bit more clinical around the circle.
Yeah, I think you'll be happy with what they've done in terms of possession, and I think they probably have confidence in terms of moving on with this game, that the goal will actually come. I think for me the important thing is from this game is that they get a goal from normal gameplay rather than a penalty corner. I think that will give them confidence. Yes, they have really good corners and they trust in that, but it'll be a really important thing to get a field goal this evening and get confidence with that. Yeah,
quite right. All three of the goals have come from penalty corners, so that's the task for the Dutch in this match here tonight.
Okay?
So let's have a look at some of the highlights from the first half. That was a swing and a miss from Zandervaart. Japan have done well, and this was the shot. Sunbrook saving away to her left. Lovely balance and poise from the Dutch keeper. For the main boss. Having quite a lot of game time at the back in the centre of defence. Valerie Margis and Holland get us underway in the second quarter. 0-0 after the first 15 minutes of play, and a very even game with both keepers having to make saves, but the Dutch getting back to what we expect from them as Van der Hervel breaks over the halfway line and plays it forward and picks out the run of Drost.
Yeah, rightly so. I think the Dutch, the intensity's been a lot better this evening. They've started off really well, and I imagine that genuinely does come from sitting in a hotel all day waiting for the game. You can't wait to get out there, having seen like other teams play in the day, and it's a really nice temperature now for them to go out there and play really good hockey. But yeah, Japan are closing down really well. They're pressing really nicely, and the most important thing with that is how hard they're working off the ball. And like you said earlier, Charlie, whether they can sustain that for all four quarters is something to be seen.
There's Dex. Up the line it goes, and it's almost a nice ball for Margis. She didn't quite bring it under control. Japan have got to be tight here, and that is not a tight ball. Get out of jail there. Sakai. And this is Nunning, the youngster, the 19-year-old. He's the free hit, which Palman will take. Palman, a little look up. Takes it on herself, all the way to the circle edge, then dispossessed. And Japan, through Shibata, come away.
Yeah, that's a great piece of play from Japan. Defended really nicely, and at the moment they're always defending in at least twos, which gives them the option if the first player is beaten, then there's a second to follow it up. So working really hard in defence at the moment to just keep it all secure there.
Just a poor first touch, almost inviting pressure onto Japan, and then they have to hit the ball away. Masaka back in the centre of defence. Van der Herbel leaves it. This is Kietels. The ball too far in front of Velton. So Japan 16. It's non-stop pace to this game. Ota, Shibata showing some nice skill and wins a free hit off Van Geffen. Ota. Sakaguchi to the far side. Hayashi goes up that right flank. Tanaka. The sideline ball, which Sakai will take. Sakai. Kanafuji's got Tanaka to her left. Kanafuji still going by herself, going round Philomene Boss. Sakai. Now she's got herself in a bit of bother, but she does well. Kanafuji off Boss. Still alive, Sakai wins the free hit. Further back required. Kanafuji drops it out and going to go all the way around the back. Hayashi. Sakaguchi trying to pick up Sakai, but it's been intercepted, and here comes Durst, and she's got in front of her Herg to her right-hand flank. This is Velton, it's behind Herg, and it's away for a sideline ball to Japan.
Yeah, I think Levi Velton was trying to cross that into Hoch, but as you said, just went run behind her rather than in front of her.
Cracked up the right flank. Intercepted and brought forward by Palman. And a green card picked up by Japan, and their number 7 Shiho Otsuka. They've got the worst disciplinary record in the competition, somewhat surprisingly, Japan. It's behind for a 16. Van As battling with Shibata.
Great piece of skill from Shibata.
Nice ball to Sakai if she can keep it in. Right thought process from Miyuki Nakagawa. There's Otsuka Shiho. 2 minutes on the naughty step for her. Van Geffen. Herg. Pressure, drops it out, and Van Geffen will go to Boss, to Palman. Palman playing the 1-2 with Van As, but Van As is dispossessed by Tanaka. Here is Tanaka. Tanaka loses possession, and it's quickly taken by Holland. Herg trying to play it back to Durst. Durst gets her stick tangled with Sakai. Herg. Oh, that's a good interception by the skipper Nakagawa, and just shovels it off the end of the park because she knows her team are short-handed, and she's being subbed off for Nagai. Buys her team some time, and the Japanese have just dropped right off. They are just, what, 10 yards inside their own half. Yeah. There they are. That's the first line of defence there.
Yeah, they're sacking off a lot more, which is really good in terms of absorbing the pressure. We've seen at the moment the Dutch haven't been able to do that much in the attack in 23, so sensible decision from the Japanese.
Well, they're back up to 11 now. Kato has come on. And yeah, good work from the keeper. She didn't panic. You could feel her panicking, but she managed to keep it under control. And Masaka will pick it up inside her own 25, and Japan are still deciding to do the half-court press, just trying to maybe recharge the batteries, but they've been so successful coming forward.
Yeah, they're making it really difficult for the Netherlands at the moment. Every time someone receives the ball, they're on top of them. They're like little terriers in there. So it's really good what they're doing, but I genuinely hope that they can continue to do this for the next half as well.
Fired up. Sakai throws the aerial ball, trying to pick out Nakashima, but the Dutch bring it under control, and Herder's ball across is almost picked off. Van As to De Waard, and it is a Japan sideline ball, or free hit, which Sakaguchi was about to take, and she's left it for Hayashi. Oh dear.
That's disappointing. I mean, when Japan have looked good, it means they've been playing the short ball in, and now they're starting to get further and further apart. They're trying to throw the aerial over or hit it out, and they're not really going to get some good attacks from that. Can't fault their defending though. They've been superb in defence at the moment.
Sakai. She played well at the World Cup, Sakai. She hasn't been too bad here either. But she hasn't got her defensive partner in crime, Ono, with her here.
Yeah.
She's not here.
Yeah. I think they've lost a lot of players since the World Cup, and relatively new since the Asian Games as well. So very much a new team we're looking at this evening, and if this is the new team they have to build with, I think it's a very good foundation.
Over to the middle it goes. In it comes from Boss. It's almost another one of her pearlers. She has a good radar on her, doesn't she, Wilhelmine Boss?
Yeah, extremely good radar. I mean, in the last couple of games, we've seen exactly the damage she can cause with doing that. She used to have a really good connection with Kim Lammers because they used to play at Club Lara together. But I think it was Zandvoort or one of the younger members she had a really good connection with the other day, and was picking them up in behind the defence with one pass, beating everyone.
This is Nanink out to Herder, to Van Geffen. Boss again, winding up one of her specials. This one's more direct ball to Van Marsaker. Dirks. Van As. Van As up against Kato. Van As showing some nice skill, but runs out of pitch. And we've got 4 minutes of the first half remaining, and it's still Netherlands 0, Japan 0, but it's been a really entertaining first half.
Yeah, really, really good from both teams, especially the Japanese in terms of the defence.
Margis round the defender. Can she find the cross? Yes, she can, but it's too far in front of Zandvoort.
When I talk about the Japanese defence, I don't actually just mean the defenders. The centre forward is working tirelessly at the minute to press across both sides of the field and just leading it from the front.
And Masaka comes, and that was the last time they were aware.
Just no space in there from which to do anything, is it?
And it comes again. Ooh, almost round the back goes Margis. Oh, it's going to hurt. Into the thigh of Hayashi. Dags. Palman and Marsaka. In it goes, and it's a 16. Good defensive effort again.
Yeah, really good. You can see the ball through there. Zandvoort catches it and deflects off, but I don't think she purposely was meaning to do that. But as you were saying, Charlie, awesome defense right now from the Japanese, working really hard to force the Netherlands to play down the sidelines and really not allowing those passes through the centre. We've only seen one in this whole half from Willemijn Moss, and we usually see a lot more of those happening.
Here is Boss. And it comes. And Sane. Probably you've watched that over the sideline. Maybe she wasn't sure. It's a long corner anyway. Boss. And Marsaka. And Yuji Nagai will be very pleased with his team so far. If they can see it out the last minute and a half, minute and 40, then that would be job well done for the first half. Palman up to the 25. She's going to wind this one up and in, but that's a good first stick on it by Hayashi. And this is Kanafuji. 70 seconds of the first half remain. Japan sideline ball.
The Dutch really pressing them to the sideline, trying to win the ball back in the last minute. Probably trying in the circle to get a corner. And they've won it. Well,
they've won possession back over. And here is Palman. Palman to Van Geffen. And a half touch from Nakagawa. And it's a sideline ball which will be taken by Keitels. Keitels deflected away. And Hayashi, it's all hands to the pump here for Japan. The Cherry Blossoms hanging on in here at the end of the first half, having given a really good account of themselves so far. And it comes, Palman's deflection being missed by Sakai, and it will be a 16. Sakai has a little look at the clock, wonders how much she can play around with the ball before having to take the 16. And they've done just enough here, Japan. There is the half-time hooter, and they have contained and they have frustrated the Dutch, but it has been a better performance from the Netherlands at half-time though. There's no score. It's Netherlands 0, Japan 0. Well, Sarah Thomas, a little shake of their head from Marcia Palman, but it's been a better performance for the Dutch. They just haven't made the breakthrough.
Yeah, I think it's been a better performance in terms of their passing game. They've been passing around really well. I think in the last game we saw them, a lot of balls were too far in front, or they weren't the quality we'd usually expect from the Dutch. But the passing game's been a lot better. But what they've done with the ball higher up the field has basically been non-existent. Now, I don't think that's due to the failure of the Dutch, but actually how supremely the Japanese have defended.
Well, let's see what happens for Sjoerd Marijn and his team in the second half, but at half-time here, it's 0-0 between the Netherlands and Japan. And welcome back, everybody, to Mendoza in Argentina. It's half-time in the fourth and final match on day 3 of this 2014 Women's Champions Trophy, and no score to tell you about. Netherlands 0, Japan 0, the half-time score. But it's been a fascinating game. Sarah Thomas, who's still alongside me in the commentary box.
Yeah, there's the first opportunity for Japan early on in the game. Great shot from Shibata. She's running away from the goal, does superbly well to get that shot on target, and is extremely disappointed that that wasn't going in for a really good backhand cross as well to get that ball into the circle for the Japanese. Great save as well. When
you see that in slow-mo, Sonnenberg's actually going to her
right-hand
side and then has to come back again, and she still manages to maintain her balance.
And here's the opportunity down the other end of the field from Ellen Hoch. A good save from the Japanese goalkeeper, pushing it out the side, but Ellen Hoch, her favoured side, manages to get the ball under control and just move it just enough to get that shot off, but from such a tight angle, it'll be very difficult to do a lot with that. Yeah, a little deflection off Zandvoort from the top of the circle, great ball in. Not sure how much she sees of that, but again, making the goalkeeper make the save.
I think we've established that Asano's done the save there, but lots of positives for the Dutch, but just haven't been able to unlock the defence. But look at that possession, 70-30. And twice as many circle penetrations, twice as many shots, same number of cards, no penalty corners, exactly the same when the Dutch played China. There were no penalty corners at half-time. Got into the third quarter, the Dutch won 2 quick penalty corners, scored the 2 goals, and it was job done. But the Dutch, for all their dominance, have let Japan, or have given Japan, the opportunity to score. So let's interact. Social media, get onto Facebook, where you can find us at facebook.com/FI Hockey. Let us know what you think. You can like us there. On Twitter, our Twitter handle at FIH_hockey, using the hashtag CT2014. We're also on Instagram and YouTube. That's at FI Hockey. Pictures from behind the scenes on Instagram, and of course highlights and much more on our YouTube channel. So we've seen a number of teams come out late and get caught by the restart. There's no danger of that happening with these two teams. We're still 2 minutes away, over 2 minutes away from the start of the second half. And well, they're going to be stood there for quite a long time then before we get the whistle to go. And some of you might have been wondering why Japan are wearing black armbands. You can just see it there on the left arm of number 5, the captain Miyuki Nakagawa. Well, it's because Mr. Munyoshi Ueda passed away last week. He was president of the Japan Hockey Association, vice president of the Asian Hockey Federation, an executive board council member of the FIH. So our condolences to Japan Hockey, who have obviously lost a very big character in their sport. We've still got quite a time before we get the second half underway. So Sarah, what do you think the Dutch said at half time?
Yeah, I think the Dutch will be frustrated. I think they'll be happy with the amount of possession they've had, but they'll be really frustrated in how well the Japanese are defended. Without doubt, they're going to look for a corner because they know that's their go-to in terms of getting a goal on the score sheet. But I think, on the other hand, is whether the Japanese have enough gas in the tank to see out this quarter.
And what do you think Yuji Nagai said to his team in the break?
I think he'd probably be very, very happy. They've worked as a team. They've worked tirelessly in the press across both sides of the field, and that's been led from the front, which is very unusual. And yeah, I just hope for them that they continue defending as well. And if they can get, I think the one thing he might have said to them in terms of improvement is, if you can get higher up the field, then you know we can create those opportunities. Don't always rush it and give the long ball away and just throw away possession. Try and keep it. Try and be confident with it.
Okay, well, we're about 20 seconds away from the restart here in Mendoza. There is the view down from the commentary box as we look down the hill, down the mountain towards the city centre. And the second half is underway with Japan attacking the goal to our right-hand side, playing in the dark blue strip. It's goalless after the first half hour's play. Japan doing a really good job on the Dutch. They were very, very positive in the first quarter, a little less positive in the second, but we wait to see if the energy that was expended in the first half comes back to haunt them towards the end.
Yeah, and I think the send-ins off are really noticeable as well when playing quarters. There's a real big chunk of time if the players get sent off, so they had to absorb that pressure while they were one man down, and hopefully now that they're back to a full complement, we'll see them attack a little bit more.
This is Bos to Dirks. Dirks up the line to Van As. He keeps it in play. Van As cuts back in field. Still going, Naomi Van As loses out to Nagai and gives away the free hit.
The Japanese really do have the potential of frustrating the Dutch. If nothing comes in this third quarter, they really have the opportunity to do that.
Ball in field to De Waard. De Waard at pace, really good run from De Waard. Excellent Van As now, can she get the shot away? Puts it goalwards, and that's surely a penalty corner coming here. Well, there's a bit of confusion. Well, it's a bit late in the day now. I think the referral boat has well and truly sailed.
Yeah, most definitely. They didn't go for it. Naomi Van As was going to go for it and then decided not to.
How good was that run from Zan de Waard?
Yeah. The brilliant thing about it was the pace she came in and just picked up the ball, slow ball in, good feed off from Levi Velton, but the pace she came at just took the Japanese by surprise.
Bos, Dirks, the Dutch are turning the screw here. Good leave from Hayashi. Cut out by Kato. Little word, is that to Bos or to Van As? Anyway, neither of them paying any attention. The skipper undersells Hayashi, and here comes Alan Herg onto Dirks, sorry. De Waard, and it's the 16 or a free out anyway to Japan because Otsuka, and that guy's taking this on the. Oh.
Just caught her on the inside of her leg, I think. Looks nasty.
And she's running it off. Japan are going to have to be a little bit more creative with the ball than just trying to crack it up the field.
Yeah, exactly. That's my only worry in terms of their gameplay, is how creative they can be higher up the field. But in terms of the defence, they've been really smart this evening. They know that the main creativity from the Dutch comes from the centre of their field, with Eva de Goede and Martje Pauwman, so they've been really concise in what they've done in there and really compacted those areas and allowed them to play more to the sideline and through the centre.
Sakai around the corner from the skipper, Nakagawa. This is Nagai who wins the free hit. Nagai off and running, and Van As gives away the free hit, and that is between the two players, between Otta and Shibata.
Yeah, you can see Van As talking to the umpire in the aftermath of that, getting really frustrated now with the tackles, but I wouldn't say unfairly so from the Japanese at the moment. They're making some really good tackles and just stopping the Dutch in their flow.
And Masaka to Bos. Bos, here comes one of her specials. Well, it would have been. That would have gone straight to Drost on the top of the circle.
Yeah, Van As is asking her, was that for me? But I don't think it was.
That guy. Well, Kelly Hudson, the third time she's asked the Dutch to stop it.
But not actually done anything.
Bus. Little look up into Van As. Yeah, well, cut out by Sakai, taken quickly by Velton. Velton's got so much skill though, but that's a wonderful pick. That is absolutely brilliant from Sakaguchi. Attempted cut by Nakashima. Nakashima's going to have to do this herself. And in the end, across comes Nunnink to win possession back for the Dutch. Pauwman. Van As. And Geffen. Margis. Breaks down again for the Dutch as Tours takes that sideline ball. Van Geffen. Boss brings it up to near the 25. Tries to play it straight up the park. It comes back off a Japan stick. It's still with Durst. Pauwman. Van Marsaka. That's good defending there from Shibata, who gets in front of Durst.
Yeah, very good on there, intercepting and just timing it perfectly. Reading the game very, very well at the moment. Just
a blue wall across the top of the circle for the time being. Van der Herbel, can she unlock the blue wall?
You can see the Japanese organising each other really well. The communication on the field looks really good. You can see a lot of arms pointing at players, and they're most certainly looking after Pauwman a lot of the time.
Kelly Hudson just signalled a penalty corner.
Did she?
Kylie Seymour said it's a hit outside because Van Marsak is just having a little chat with Seymour.
Right.
It was pretty close to being inside the circle. Velton. Durst. No right to get that across. And now they do have the penalty corner. It was a penalty corner in the third that rescued the Dutch against China, or at least set them on their way.
Yeah, really good from Drost there on the baseline, like you said. Shouldn't have really been able to even get something out of that, but manages to get across into the circle, and just one of those mistakes that hits the Japanese feet. Here we see her really stuck in the corner, two players on her, yet makes the space for herself by moving away from goal and taking a nice short touch to cross it in. Comes up off her hand.
Look at the stick. Now, Pauwman, Van Marsacker at the top of the circle. Pauwman the nearest to us. Odds on it's going to be the skipper. It is the skipper. Oh, she made that look easy. Estano made that look easy.
She really did, didn't she? Just stepped across and palmed it away.
Nonchalantly just tips it around the post.
Interesting from Pauwman, though, has gone top right. It's the first time I think we've seen that this tournament, so really good from the goalkeeper.
I've been impressed with the China goalkeeper and the Japan goalkeeper in this tournament. I think they've both played very, very well in, well, 3 games for China, 2 games for Japan, and now they, ooh, that's great reactions from Hayashi. How she's got a stick on that, I don't know. Nagai inside, taken by Nomura.
The intensity that Japan want to take the free hits. Here's the corner, as you can see, Pauwman's gone top right on this one, looping up there, but yeah, great save from the Japanese goalkeeper, just palms it away nicely.
I'm a bit interested to see that one from behind the goal, just see how central it was. She didn't seem to move that far to her left. So this is Sakaguchi.
Nice.
Picked up by Kanafuji. And 9 minutes of the third quarter have been, and it's still the Netherlands 0, Japan 0. And Nomura does well under all sorts of pressure. Pauwman has possession. Little look up from Palman. Intercepted by Shibata. Palman not happy.
Yeah, completely out of the game, going in too heavy on that tackle and just taking herself completely out of the game and struggling to get back.
Nagai's ball, that's too much on it, and Japan, having soaked up quite a lot of pressure, now trying to come forward again.
Yeah, I mean, taking their free hits really early, nice intensity when they move forward, but it's just that connection in the final third from, isn't it, that's letting them down at the moment.
Van Geffen. This is Van der Poels, who's lost out. Van Geffen and Nakagawa have it coming together. Van der Hervel steps in down to Van Maasaker. And Margis has got the ball and plays it out to the herder. Opportunity perhaps here for the Dutch. Oh, dearie me. The herder.
Still no card. I'm very lucky, I think, with some of the games we've seen today. We've seen a lot of cards and the umpire's been...
Oh, that's a bad one, that. There's no real attempt to play the ball.
She's been very lucky there.
Van Geffen. Maasaker.
Again, immediate instincts of the Japanese was to protect the centre, not leave anything through there, and try and force the Dutch to the sidelines.
The herder up the middle, and the Dutch have the free hit. Here it comes. It's away off the stick of Hayashi. Oopsie, someone's gone down heavily. It's and Herg.
Really looking for the corner now, aren't they, when they're in that area?
Cracked in. That's good work. Good defensive work again. As, the herder drops it out to Van Geffen. Van Geffen into the circle it goes. No, it doesn't, because the skipper Nakagawa's there and she cracks it up the other end of the park.
Yeah, see, that's the moment that frustrates me with the Japanese. I mean, extremely well in terms of the defence. Here we see the Dutch Ellen Hoek going to ground, but the Japanese doing extremely well in terms of defending, absorbing all the pressure time after time. They genuinely don't look like they're tiring out there, but when they do regain possession, they're not going to score by hitting up the other side of the field without any players there.
Sakai doing well. That's a good step up by Van Maasaker, then plays it up the park to Herg. Herg looking to try and play in De Waard. Crack ball across, is this a chance? Good save, it's still alive. In comes the shot and it's another good save. Van der Poels with a shot. And Asana makes the double save.
Really good work from the goalkeeper once again. She doesn't look fazed by it either, does she? Really nonchalant in her saves, but doing an excellent job back there.
Van Geffen. Palman spread it out this left-hand side where Van Geffen comes forward. Van Geffen onto the open stick, now onto the reverse. She's into the circle. Big tackle, big strong tackle from Sakaguchi, but it's still alive in the circle, and it's a 16. And well, they're getting a little bit of luck, Japan, but they deserve it because they're working extremely hard.
Definitely. Here's the ball in from Ellen Hoek, falls nicely for Lee Devine, but great save, and here's the ball again in. Saved nicely to the sideline. Second shot.
Comes in, and we're just pausing because Japan are on the attack, but Dirks has come up with the ball and De Waard goes down, and Japan on a rare foray forward through Nomura. Nomura has Ichitani next to Ichitani into the circle, still going. That's a... Oh, how much ball was taken there? Pauwman inside the final 40 seconds of this third quarter. Still Netherlands 0, Japan 0. And it's a fascinating game, although there's no goals. Van Geffen down the line to Herg. Herg comes back inside, wins the free hit, which Van Geffen will take. Van Geffen onto the reverse stick, and it comes. Chance here. Shot, and it's wide from Keitels.
Wow. I mean, I genuinely don't know how the Japanese doing it. They've constantly got two players on the ball, like trying to close it down. Really,
well, that
really good.
is the end of the third quarter, and still no score. Netherlands 0, Japan 0. Wow, this is the last effort for Keitels. Didn't get anywhere near it. And real frustration for Holland here, I'm sure. A little shake of the head, but it's been a good performance by Japan. So you just sense a little bit that if the Dutch just keep plugging away, the opportunity will come.
Yeah, I mean, I do feel way, but having played against the Japanese myself a number of times, it's really, really difficult to break them down. And for the Dutch, that's the moment they become really frustrated, and that's when they start to get more annoyed, and rather than put energy into the game, they get annoyed with themselves and each other. So this is going to be a really, really interesting last 15 minutes for us here.
Well, the Dutch have got 15 minutes to pull it out of the bag. At the moment, they're not going to be topping Pool A. An intense look on the Japan players' faces as they listen to their coach, Yuji Nagai, telling them what he wants. There's a calmness, isn't there, about that group?
Yeah, there really is. They're genuinely taking in every word he says. And they're a really proud nation, you know, really, really proud and respectful to their coach and their teammates, and it's a really lovely thing to see.
Is there to be a breakthrough for the Dutch here? They need to win by 2 goals to move to the top of the Pool A table. So, as it stands, it's New Zealand, England. Japan get us underway in this fourth quarter. Still holding the Dutch to a goalless draw. The Dutch second in Pool A, coming into this one. And Van Geffen goes down. Heavy fall for the Dutch number 23. Margies picks the ball up on the reverse stick side. Nice pick from Margies as he comes back infield. Little drop out to Van As. Van As cracks it across. And not for the first time, Hayashi goes down, but I think she managed to get a bit of stick on that.
Yeah, here's Margot Van Geffen getting into trouble. The Japanese nice and low in a stick again, and some follow through.
And a Herbal. Comes inside, the herder wins the free hit. Up to the circle edge, and Hayashi's there again.
Yeah, Holland are really going to need De Goede and the likes of Pauwman and Colleen van der Houwer. Really get them on the ball now, really start to play them into the game. We haven't really seen them that much.
Pauwman's cracked it in. Oh, coming in, sliding at the far post was Velton. But no touch for the number 12, who's celebrating a 100th cap here this evening.
Yeah, here we see Pauwman looking. These two play at club level together, and they have a really good connection, and just missing that little bounce, a little skip, and again, really good pressure from the Japanese defender.
Velton Van Ass outside of here's Van Ass, but good work from Shibata. 6-1 the Dutch beat Japan at the World Cup. We've seen 3 goals scored in 9 minutes here today. So it was Argentina against England. Argentina going from 1-1 to 4-1 victors in those final 9 minutes. A victory and a goal, in fact, 2 minutes for time, that put Argentina on top of Pool B and England on the bottom. As it stands, though, it would be New Zealand against England, Holland against Germany, Japan against Australia, and Argentina against China. That would be the quarter-final lineup. Not sure what the order would be just yet. That is to be decided. But 2 goals from Holland would change all that. Here is Pauwman to Hurg. Hurg cuts back in field, has a little look up to Van der Hervel, back to Hurg, and the Dutch going through the motions. Hurg onto a reverse stick, goes down, play on, as Nakagawa makes the tackle.
Yeah, that was a bit nice from the Dutch, a nice piece of play then, just laying the ball off to players who've managed to get free and running through the centre, but the tight defence in the Japanese circle at the moment.
Sakai does well with just behind her. Sakai to Nagai. Oh, Pauwman's knocked the ball away. It has to be a card. Yeah. Has to be a card. And finally, the Dutch pick up a card. It's been coming. And that was frustration from Pauwman.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's one of the things that creeps into their game when the game's not going as well as they'd like.
How about that for the passage of passes from Japan?
Japan deciding to press a lot higher now that they've got that extra player. They've been half-courting for the majority of this game, but gone a little bit higher up the field now.
Confirmation of Pauwman's 2 minutes. Van Ass, Van der Hervel, who finds herself at the back. Inside the final 10 minutes of this match. Netherlands 0, Japan 0. And the performance of Japan has made this a really interesting and fun game to watch, but that's a very heavy touch by Shibata that could invite pressure onto her side. De Herder to Hurg. Hurg up the edge of the circle, and Japan get it to relative safety. Touch sideline ball. Everybody in blue pretty much inside the 25. There's a couple of them just come out of it now. Van Ass, Dex, Boss, and Masaka into a blue stick, but again just giving the ball away cheaply.
Yeah, that's the bit they really need to take care of now. That's the icing on the cake for them this evening, if they could just pass the ball high up the field.
Pauwman's back on, so it's 11 versus 11. Once more. Boss. I don't think I've ever seen it that high up a park before, certainly not here.
No, very true. Ellen Hoek is probably the busiest of the forwards in the midfield at the moment, trying to get on the ball and trying to get that ball into the circle for a corner.
From Masaka to Boss. Boss into De Herder. Drosk! Oh, that's a super save.
Great save. Absolutely great save. Didn't come too soon, and when she did, she blocked it thoroughly.
To the circle edge, and Nakagawa will feed it to Kanafuji. Kanafuji who just wants to look after this and hold on a second. Durst. No.
Ooh.
Oh, well, it's Shibata has picked up a yellow card.
I didn't see what she got that for, did you?
Well, you know, is what Kelly Hudson said. Well, that's the save. I don't know what it was given for, but that could be a game changer here.
Definitely could.
That could be a game changer. We saw Argentina score 2 goals when Susanna Townsend was yellow carded towards the end.
Yeah, it makes a big difference in these quarters, and especially with the way the Japanese have worked this evening. They're going to be tired out there, so they really do need those extra pair of legs.
So, into the circle goes Van Ass, and somehow they've kept it out again. Wave after wave of orange attack is being repelled, but for how much longer can the Cherry Blossoms keep their opponents at bay? Velton into the circle, and it's key the Dutch play as a team here.
Yeah.
And move the ball around. If they try and do it individually, then it'll be a lot easier for Japan. Onto the foot.
It's hardly any team sheet you could look at and think, wow, what creativity they've got in there. You know, they've got so many good players in their team, and exactly right, Charlie. They need to utilise that and play the ball around and move it on.
Still trying to see where.
This is the save.
It's good
from Naomi Van Ass. She comes in. Great save from the goalkeeper.
Asano has done very well. And her performance alone, you hope she keeps a clean sheet, because she has been really impressive. And if she is to concede, let's hope it's a really special goal. Dex. Oh, intercepted here by Nomura. Nomura, well, she's got no support. She's going to have to do it herself. And Dex comes across to make the tackle. Van Ass. Up the line from Ketels to Velton. Velton along the bottom. Velton in on the reverse stick. And point in case.
Yeah, exactly.
Very difficult shot, that one.
Yeah, really difficult. It's taking it onto her backhand. You know, a lot of Japanese around it. Does really well to get in the circle. Shows some good skills, but then takes it on her backhand. She's got another player coming in to try and tackle her as well, and just making life difficult for themselves. Maybe then try and keep the ball on your stick and find a foot.
Here comes another attempt, but really good defensive work from Japan once again. Inside the final 5, Netherlands 0, Japan 0.
You can really sense the urgency in the Dutch there. You know, there's a lot of shouting going on there to keep the ball up in that area and try and win a corner, but
good pick by Van Geffen off the foot of Nagai, still going. Now, can they find the cross here? Van Geffen has Van Ass behind her. And good work from Sakai, getting her stick nice and low, but the ball's back with Van Ass, and it comes. Sakai's there again. And have another go as they give the Dutch the ball back. Pauwman, round her opposite number, Nakagawa. Drops it out to Nunnink.
The trapping skills of the Japanese have been superb this evening whenever the balls come into the circle, but it's just that one bit at the end, isn't it, in terms of trying to hit the ball away. They're giving it back now to the Dutch, and they really need to try and win that free hit.
No rush from Hayashi. There's a surprise. Plenty of urgency from Velton. Sakai, he's just come off the back of 2 brilliant traps. Shirt Marai, I mean, his team can't do much more.
No, they're trying to move the ball around from left to right now and have a go down the right-hand side, but it's just, yeah, it's just that final moment in the 23 or the circle, but the Japanese are just defending superbly. All fairness to them, they've done an absolutely fantastic job this evening.
I'll make it around 1 minute that Japan have got left to seal the 5. For the yellow. Oh, that's a lovely turn.
The only thing the Dutch could try and do is try and allow the Japanese to attack a little bit, to draw them out and create that space, because by keeping attacking, and they're all of them are back in their 23, there's just no space in which for them to work with.
Here's that turn.
Great piece of skill, isn't it? Really nice tight control, feeds off the body of the Dutch defender and works with that nicely.
Here is Van Ass. Up to the circle edge, chance here for the Dutch. Oh, Velton just got it caught underneath her feet.
I think they're looking at the clock now, realising the time, realising that they need to do something desperately quick.
And Japan are back up to 11. So they've weathered the 5-minute storm, and they are 2 and a bit minutes away from a really famous result for Japan hockey. And on the effort alone, you wouldn't begrudge them the draw. It's not like they've parked the bus and sat behind the Dutch. They've taken the game to the Dutch when they can. You know, they're not going to play attacking hockey for 60 minutes because they're going to get pulled apart, but they've had 10-15 minutes of really good attacking stuff, and now they're trying to go on the front foot towards the end of this game. This Sakai with the aerial. Oh, that had to be good from Boss, because was it not, there were 2 waiting at the back post. Dutch ball inside the Japan 25, cracked in, and long corner, last touch of Nakagawa inside the final 90 seconds.
There's Willemijn Boss on the long corner trying to take it down the baseline for them.
Boss up to Herg. Herg loses out. And now it is desperately, desperately close for Japan. It's touching distance. It won't actually affect where they finish in the group should the Dutch score now. They'll still finish 2nd and 3rd respectively, but it's just the kudos of getting the result.
Yeah, exactly. A team who's trying to build themselves. I mean, a performance like this is fantastic to build on.
Oh, Sakai's there again.
Really good. Just needs to get that free hit now and not just hit it straight back to the Dutch.
37 seconds. So he's found Kato. Kato gets muscled out by Van Geffen. Van Geffen, across the park she goes. Boss is winding up a special to the top of the circle, Van Ass. And the penalty corner, you can't believe it. With 17 seconds left on the clock, they've got to refer it, they are referring.
From this angle up here, it looked pretty clean, to be honest, so.
Bob, just to check, mate. Okay. 1 second. What's your question?
This is sometimes where it gets difficult for Japan because of the language barrier.
Yes. Can you have a look? They're claiming it's a stick. So you're looking for backing second circle. Yeah, so they're saying there was nothing wrong with what it did, so I saw a foot.
Let's have a look. Boss rifles it in. Can't see a foot there.
No, and I didn't from up here. I thought it was stick on both occasions, so ball comes up initially and then Van Ass is the one to claim it for the Dutch.
Well, there's no foot, as far as I can see.
They are looking for a ball.
Kylie, there is no reason to change your decision. Continue with the penalty corner. And Japan lose their referral?
No.
Did you hear that, Kylie? Yes, and Japan lose their referral? And Japan loses the referral. No more referral.
No, I don't. Did Kylie Seymour give it because it was a foot or because it was high off the stick? I didn't hear the initial reason why she gave this penalty corner.
That's an interesting one because the Japanese have asked, well, they've said that it's not a foot, but exactly that. If you were asking whether it was high off the stick,
that it was given because of a foot.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing.
So a chance for the Dutch to redeem themselves and rescue a win. To Palman at the top of the circle. Palman scores and breaks Japanese hearts, and I have to say, I feel for Japan as well. Asano beaten to the right-hand side. And Palman and the Dutch continue to rely on penalty corners.
Here we can see Palman at the top, and Banks just very well with that. The goalkeeper's already down on the floor. Looks like a mid-height one. How high is that? Yeah, mid-height, difficult height for the goalkeeper, but as she was...
We've seen the Germans score a goal 5 seconds from time and the Dutch from 9. Palman rescues Holland, but they won't finish top of the pile in Pool A, not unless they can score another in the next 9 seconds. Well, real heartbreak for Japan here. They came within 9 seconds of holding the world champions. Plenty of positives to take from it, but it's taken a penalty corner from Marcia Palman, the Dutch captain, 9 seconds from time to win it for the Dutch by 1-0. Well, Sarah Choll is still alongside me. It's all smiles for the Dutch, but in truth, they're very, very lucky.
Yeah, very lucky indeed. I mean, you could hear Palman scream up here in the commentary box how important that was for them. But from my opinion, they still haven't scored a field goal, and you cannot credit what the Japanese have done on that field tonight.
Palman's face probably reflects the true reflection. It's one of relief, not one of smile and joy. And Japan, well, they can lift their hold and they can hold their head up high. They were brilliant in that game, but it wasn't enough. The Dutch have won it by 1-0. So Japan will finish third in the table, and they will play Australia in the quarterfinals. Let's have another look at the penalty corner. Only the second penalty corner of the game. And Asano, who'd done so brilliantly throughout, just couldn't keep that one out. And watch the despair on the defenders' faces.
Yeah.
Oh, the relief. It's the 2 stories there, isn't it?
I mean, all credit to Palman to bring that out in the last couple of seconds of a game. Absolute quality player.
Well, it'd be interesting to hear what the thoughts of the Dutch camp are in this one, but certainly you feel for Japan. A brilliant, brilliant performance by them. And Yuji Nagai will be asking for more of the same from his team when they face Australia. There'll be some glum faces there. You can understand why. But when the dust settles, they'll realise they pushed the world champions who swept all before them, who beat them 6-1 back in the summer. They pushed them to within 9 seconds of a famous draw. OK, let's hear from Marcia Palman, who is with Mel Clulo now.
Marcia, that's probably one of the most frustrating games that you've played in, but what positives can you take from that game as a team?
That we win in the end. That's the positive thing, I think. I think we didn't play our best game, and Japan defends really well, and we didn't create so much chances. And yeah, it was not our best game, but they tried to defend with 11 girls in the field, and it's really hard to find the goal. And I'm very happy that we find them once this match, and that we won this game. But the only thing is that I'm happy with the result, and now looking forward to the quarterfinal.
And for you yourself, when you're stood on top of the circle with 20 seconds to go, how much pressure do you feel as that drag flicker?
A little bit. I just don't want to think about the pressure and just do my thing and flick the ball to the goal and yeah, score. So.
Well done on the 3 points today, and good luck on Thursday.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, well done to Marcia Palman and to Holland. Commiserations to Japan, but they'll be back, and if they can play like that against Australia, then they might give the Hockey Roos a run for their money. So this is the final pool standings here. New Zealand top it, courtesy of more goals scored. So there you go. They will top it, and they will face England in the quarter-finals on Thursday. And there you have it. New Zealand, England, Australia, Japan, Netherlands against Germany, Argentina, China. What a lineup that promises to be, and we look forward to that one. And what a fascinating day it has been on the final pool day. So much change happening. We thought the Dutch would probably have enough in them to score the 2 goals to finish on top of the pile, but it's New Zealand that find themselves playing England. And how many times have those 2 countries met each other recently, and for big games as well. Serd Marijn with a last-minute chat with his team, but that is it. That wraps up day 3 of the Champions Trophy in Argentina for 2014. Thank you very much for your company, and we'll see you all again soon. Bye-bye.